Welcome, and in this video we'll be talking about if function. In my last video I walked us through the basic math functions, which are sum, average, mean, max, count, and count all. And here we are still continuing on functions, and if function is one of the functions we use in Excel to make decision based on conditions. And let me just say this real life scenario. For instance, we as human, we make our decisions based on conditions. For instance, I might say, if it rain today, I will not go out. If it doesn't rain, I will go out. The question, which is the logic there, is that it rains, I don't go out. It doesn't rain, I go out. Another way we can also look at it is, as a parent or as a teacher, you might tell your students that if you have a particular mark, maybe you give them a test and you say, if you have this particular benchmark, you will be given a gift. Otherwise, you don't get a gift. So this is exactly what if function does in Excel. It helps Excel to make decision based on condition. And we go straight into the practical aspect of it. I have this table, student table, customers table, and this attempt for you to reaffirm what you are going to learn in this video. And I start with the student table. When I told us that when we are writing function formula in Excel, you start with equal to, which and our function we are looking at if function. You open a parenthesis. For instance, I want to look at the scores that are above 50. When a score is above or equal to 50, let's call it pass. Or otherwise, let's call it fail. I said if this score, which is 75, is greater than or equal to 50, which is the first instruction I'm giving Excel, I put my comma there. I open a quote. I say pass. I close the quote. The reason for this quote is that pass is a test. We call it string. And when you're writing string like this in Excel, you put them in quote. So you will let it know that this is a string and it should return it accordingly. You put your comma again. Otherwise, if it is not greater than or equal to 50, put it as fail. And you close your parentheses. You click enter. Can we say that we have pass for John? John has 75 score, which is above 50, and it returns pass. Let's now drag this down. Can we see that we have Mary, which is 42 to be failed, Emma, which is 38 to be failed, David, which is 19 to be passed, Sarah, which is 45 to be failed. Assuming I have millions of students I want to return this type of conditions for, I would have just done it under 1 minute. Now, I'm going to the next table, which is the customers table. For instance, you as a business owner, you want to give, maybe at the end of the year, you want to give your loyal customers incentives, and you have gathered all their information, and you want to look at the customers that will be eligible for the incentives, and you have a benchmark for that. Any customers that is above 500, that have made transaction of above 500 or equal to 500 or 500 and above, should be qualified for this incentive. Otherwise, they are disqualified. Now let's put also that in our function. We start with equal to. We have if, you open your parentheses, and the logic here is that if the amount, which is 1000, is greater or equal to 500, I want you to return, you open a quote, qualify. You close the quote. That's the second instruction that you have given Excel. You put your comma. Otherwise, if it is below 500, I want you to return disqualify. You open your quote again and you type disqualify. You put the quote and you put your parentheses. Don't forget, when you're writing strings, you have to put them in quotes. And now you click enter. And we see that we have qualify for Ade. Ade has made transaction up to 1000, And let's check for the others. Let's drag it down like this. And we can see that Shola is qualified who has made transaction above 500, which is 800. Oye rather has made qualified with the 750 amount he has spent, and Kunle is disqualified because he has not spent up to 500. Now, can we see that with this if function, we are able to make decision fast and quick with Excel? I would like you also to go and attempt this. You can pause this video and attempt this question. I want you to check for the age that is above 18. Age 18 and above should be adult and anyone below should be minor. I want you to pause this video, attempt that, and you can check back for the correct answer. Now, I'm sure that you have done that. Let's go back to this and let's solve it together. And we have our equal to, like I said, always write your equal to at the beginning of your function or formula in Excel. You have if statement, open your parentheses. If this age 20, if this age 20 is greater or equal to 18, that's the first instruction. I want you to put it adult. Otherwise, if it is not up to 18, I want it to be minor. You close the parentheses and you click enter. Can we say that James is over 18, which is 20, and we have adult for James. Now let's drag it down. And this dragging down is an example of relative cell that I reference that I taught us in one of the videos I've done in the past. Relative cell reference. Can we say that Grace is below 18, which is minor? Ahmed is 18, which is adult. I'm sure we have learned something in this video, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you.